because we want to think about things differently than we have in the past. So if you think about the world of
Digital have been for a long time, and probably the other thing that really motivates me is the people. We have fantastic people globally, and I love working with them.
How do we get people to actually participate with us? Moving forward, I want you to think about the disruption of prediction.
And the problem with the equality conversation is the fact that equal in our mind means we're the same. And we are not the same. We will never be the same, and that's a great thing.
I want to start off with a story today. This is actually a true story. I've changed the names, and you'll see I've changed the names and over-dramatized it a bit by intent to really teach you something new and different that maybe you haven't thought about before as it relates to the gender conversation. So I want to introduce you to Grace. Grace is a new manager. She's only been in her role a few months. And she's really excited to actually contribute at the management level and gets her first opportunity to do so with the first really big business challenge that she's faced as a manager. And we're going to call this business challenge Code Red. So Grace goes to her staff meeting with her boss, John. And actually, she has a peer who's named Grit. And he also is relatively new to a management role. And John lays out the situation, giving them insight and information, and then says, I'm going to let you go because I want you to focus on this, and we're going to reconvene tomorrow morning. So Grace and Grit leave the meeting, and they go to their assistant, requesting that the calendars be cleared for the day so they can focus on Code Red. But that's where the behavior similarities stop between Grace and Grit.
Grit asks his assistant to find a room for him where he can focus and work on this problem independently and privately. And from that room, he sends out a number of directive emails to both his team members as well as potential peers across the company. And at the end of the day, he prepares a memo that he sends back to his boss, John, describing all the things that he's put in motion to make sure that he's sure, here's what I'm doing to actually solve this problem. Grace also goes to her assistant and requests that a number of meetings be scheduled, starting with her team, where she makes sure that every single member of her team gets to contribute, ask questions, and she asks what she thinks they should do. She does the same for a number of her peers. So these may seem like subtle differences, but they're important, because the leadership behavior that John is measuring Grace and Grit on for the first time is about decisiveness or about problem solving. So how does he evaluate the fact that she asked a bunch of people questions instead of coming and directing others what to do? How does he evaluate the fact that she didn't come to the table with that summary of action that she'd been put into place?
Both styles are relevant. Both styles are great. Both styles are valuable to the organization. This is not a right or wrong situation. Like it or not, there is a male standard to leadership that happens in the workplace, and it's very subtle.
So if men are judging and taking that next level of leadership up the chain because they're making these decisions, because statistically there's more of them, then who are they going to choose? And are they going to choose the classic Grit to be that next leader?
So if you look at the 9 behaviors that actually improve organizational performance, the pink ones, the 5 there, are the ones women do better. People development, expectations and rewards, role modeling, inspiration, and participative decision making, as we've already discussed.
If you have a woman in leadership position or a board position, companies actually deliver better results. So as we think about this, how can we change our mindset? I want you to think about changing our mindset to not have an either or, but this is an and. This is a Grace meets Grit together for our organizations. And any organization that has that has value today. Thank you.